For 2026 anticipated releases, I wanted to do something different. This year, I wanted to give you a book a month that I was excited about coming out, with the rule being that I had to have at least read the first book in that series if it is a series. Of course, this crash and burn, since a lot of the releases for the end of the year don't have confirmed dates or even that they are coming out this year. So I narrowed it down to just through June. And then I forgot how to math and was adding 3 books per month, still thinking I'm working up to the number 12. Thankfully, I have realized my mistake and corrected it. And we're sticking with 12 because I liked that number. So today I have 2 books per month, January through June, for the first half of the year that I'm excited about, that I would love to tell you guys about, and hope that maybe you want to pick up this series, this standalone, and just hope that you'll be looking forward to it as well and finding new books to pick up. And of course, every month we do the monthly releases and then the weekly releases. Maybe I do too many releases. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on that. But let's go ahead and dive into January. The first book up that is probably on absolutely everybody's anticipated releases. Well, not everybody, but this would be book 18 in the Dresden Files, 12 Months by Jim Butcher. This is taking place after the big one that came out 2 years ago, Battlegrounds, and it is supposed to be Dresden's, I can't say words, like spoilers. The series follows Harry Dresden, the Chicago's own resident wizard for hire. While most wizards aren't out in the open, that's how Harry makes his living and pays his bills. He works with the police on investigations sometimes. He has to deal with the Wizard High Council, known as the White Council, if I remember right. And shenanigans and horrors ensue, as there was horrors in Harry's past that things had to be dealt with. And he also has a watcher called Michael who kind of follows him around and makes sure he doesn't do bad things for the Wizard Council. It's an urban fantasy. It's very cool. I need to get back to reading it to catch up with this series. But I'm excited that the next book is coming out so that maybe by the end of 2026 I'll be caught up. We'll find out. On January 27th, though, is the start of a new trilogy, Sister Savangard and the Not Quite Dead by K.J. Parker. The series is going to be called The Loyal Opposition Trilogy. Not even the Church of the Invincible Sun is invincible, and somebody has to do its dirty work. Enter Sister Sevengard and her accompanying priest, both first-rate practitioners. Their mission is simple: to make a meddlesome princess disappear permanently. To get to her, they must attend a legendary ecumenical council, the once in a century convening of the greatest spiritual minds the world has to offer. But when they arrive, they instead find a den of villainy that would make the most hardened criminal blush. This one sounds like it's going to be very funny and interesting. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. Moving into February, on the 10th, we start with a standalone Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinneman. All colonist Oliver Lewis ever wanted to do was run the family ranch with his sister, maybe play a gig or two with his band, and keep his family's aging fleet of intelligent agriculture bots ticking as long as possible. He figures it will be a good thing when the transfer gate finally opens all the way and restores instant travel and full communication between Earth and his planet, New Sonora? But that's the problem. Even though the settlers were promised they'd be left in peace, Earth's government now has other plans. The colossal Apex Industries is hired to commence an eviction action, but maximizing profits has always been Apex's number 1 priority. And instead of just sending machines or anything to tell the settlers to evict, they're going to offer the citizens of Earth, for a fee, to operate the machines to go evict them. The game will be called Operation Bounce House. So if you have ever thought Dungeon Crawler Crawl sounded kind of cool, but weren't sure if it was for you, while I don't know for sure yet that will be exactly the same, I don't think this is lit RPG, but this would give you probably a taste of what that is like in his writing style in a standalone. So I'm going to recommend this one, and I shall be reading it soon. Then on February 15th, we have Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett. And the cover gives Emily Wilde vibes, definitely. And I think it's probably going to be in that same vein of Cottage Cozy Darkness. Everybody calls it cozy. I never quite agreed with that title, but we'll see. Agnes Albert leads a meticulously organized life, and she likes it that way. As the proudly Type A manager of a cat rescues charity, she has devoted her life to finding forever homes for stray cats. Now is the shelter that needs a new home, and the only landlord who will rent a space to a cat rescue is the mysterious man called Havelock, who also happens to be the world's most infamous magician, running an illegal magic shop out of his basement. Havelock is a cantankerous and eccentric, but not handsome. And no, Agnes absolutely does not feel anything but disdain for him. After all, rumors swirl about his shadowy past, including whispers that his dark magic once almost brought about the apocalypse. March brings one of my most excited books that I have heard about coming for next year, and that would be the continuation of the Children of Time series with Children of Strife by Adrian Tchaikovsky on March 17th. After Earth fell, Ark ships hunted for a new home. They saw lost worlds terraformed in Earth's forgotten past. A ship crewed by maverick humans is about to rediscover one such world, an Ark. The then human crewmate, Alice, wakes to discover that she, her captain, and the ship's intelligence are the only ones left on their ship. But what happened to those who left to explore the Ark and the worlds below? Each of the books moves you forward in time, but it does also have the caveat where you are at this future point in time, but also seeing a point of the past from a different planet. Because every book you are at one of these other planets that Earthlings try to terraform during our kind of golden age. The Ark ships come at a later point in time when Earth is completely ruined and humanity is trying to find a home to live on. And the first book follows the Ark ship Gilgamesh, I think, if I remember right, as they're at this habitable planet that was supposed to be the next civilization for Earth, but events happened thousands of years ago on Earth, and now they finally have gotten here and things are not what they seem. It is not just empty and waiting for them. And each book follows different crews, different arc ships, different planets, different intelligences. This series is amazing. I love it. And I am so glad he has chosen to continue on with it. Also, coming out on the same day, I think, because I forgot to write the date, is The Book of Fallen Leaves by A.S. Tamamaki, the first in the Autumn Empire series. This is fantasy, but also samurai, but in a fantasy world. I will mispronounce this. I am so sorry. Sin Hoshikari is an exiled prince of a clan that lost everything in his father's failed rebellion. Deprived of his birthright, Sin is determined to restore his family's lands and honor at any cost. Rory is a peasant girl who saved Sin's life on the night his family were put to the sword. But now she is adrift and unsure of her place in the world, not knowing that the gods themselves have plans for her. And a civil war is brewing, and his vengeance demands a bloody price. So, very intriguing. The cover is gorgeous, and I know a lot of people are very excited for this one. I don't think I've read a book with samurais. On into April, we're definitely starting with a cozy. And that is on April 14th, Stay for a Spell by Amy Comby. Princess Tannendale of the Widdermere is a disillusioned with life as a princess. She longs for real conversation, the chance to build a life of her own making, and uninterrupted reading time. During a routine royal visit to the town of Little Petbridge, Tandy's dream comes true when she finds herself cursed to remain in a rundown bookshop until she unlocks her heart's desire. Certain that someone will figure out how to break the curse eventually, and delighted by the prospect of an entire bookstore on her own, she settles in. There's just one minor problem. Tandy's royal duties are going unfulfilled. Her frantic parents start sending princes to woo her, each one of them certain their kiss will break the curse. After all, what more could a princess want but a prince? It looks so cute. And on the cover, why does it look like there's a flirkin? A sci-fi that I think might be a standalone? It's hard to tell. The Language of Liars by S.L. Huang comes out on April 21st. In his training as a spy, Ro was warned, you will always be living a lie. Jumping into the Star Eater's mind is the first place requires a moment of perfect psychic connection, and as he has studied all his life to comprehend their species, admires them, respects them, is reverent at the idea of being one of them, the only species to physiologically capable of mining the element needed for light years spanning space travel. The species all others crave to know more of, but who have notoriously shared very little. It will feel real, his elders impressed upon him. It will never be real. But Roe's certainty runs deep. He will be different. Roe will be an impostor hiding the truth of his past because his heart will be one of them. He will be one of them. Moving into May, this one this one has 3 books. It still has 3 because on May 5th, this one sounds really cool and is a standalone. You've probably seen it on other people's lists too. The Last Contract of Izuko by Fonda Lee comes out on May 5th. Live by the code, die by the knife. Izuko is a legendary swordswoman, but every legend must come to an end. With her longtime client unexpectedly retired, when her longtime client unexpectedly retires, she plans to follow, to walk out into the frozen wasteland of their planet with her head held high and her family enriched by her death. But when she's offered a final mission, she can't refuse, especially when she realizes who lies at the center of it all. Martin, her last and worst apprentice, who somehow made his way to the top. As she's thrust into a world of corporate espionage and shadowy secrets, what she uncovers could forever change humanity's existence among the stars. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Then on May 12th is a sequel. So see, I had to include the standalone because the other 2 are sequels. So if nobody's read them, then yes. All Hail Chaos by Sarah Reese Brennan, the second in the Time of Iron series. The Emperor is here, and she made him worse. The first book was Long Live Evil, in which you are following a 20-something-year-old woman who was diagnosed with like terminal cancer when she was 17, and she's been having to deal with that and pretty much live at the hospital for the last several years and just still try to pep up her little sister and take care of her little sister. And they really bonded over this book series called The Time of Iron. And then one day she is offered the chance by this mysterious woman to travel into her favorite book series. She figures it's all a delusion at first. And if she can get this special flower from the inside of the book, then she will be healed in her own life and be brought back to our world and fully recover and still get to live her long life. But of course, chaos and stuff ensues as she feels she knows the whole story in and out. But what she doesn't realize is that maybe she can change the story from the inside, and the story is evolving. I enjoyed this one so much. It was a lot of fun and just a lot of aspects, and I did feel a little bit bad for the character and the way it played out, and especially that one character. I guess we probably should have seen it coming. Then on the 19th, another highly anticipated release for myself and several people is going to be the second in the Amina El Sarafi series, The Tapestry of Fate by Shannon Chakraborty. The first book is following retired pirate captain Amina El Sarafi as she is recruited back into one last seafaring voyage to save a crewmate's child's life. So she's kind of recruited by the grandmother, and she feels that she has to do this because the parent of the child died. So Amina leaves her own family and goes off in search of this child, and hijinks and mischief and all the things. And I highly recommend the audiobook version because of the way it was, the narration style was hilarious. It was amusing. The way it is in the book, it has these excerpts kind of where she's telling the story to someone and they're dictating. So she's dictating it, and so they're writing it down. But then in there's certain points, it takes out of the dictation into the current. And the way it's done over audiobook was perfect. I loved it so much. So I would definitely be consuming this one in audiobook fashion as well. Finally, moving into June, the first one up, well, it could be May, it could be June. It does not actually have a definitive release date yet. That would be A Parade of Horribles by Matt Dinneman, the 8th book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I'm just going to tell you what Dinneman wrote on his own Reddit post announcing the official name for the book. He says, Book 8 will encompass the 10th and 11th floors. I need to actually finish writing it first. Wish me luck. I anticipate I'll be able to do this. And I think he wrote that it was 2 months ago, maybe, or 4 months ago. Was it 4 months ago? It might have been 2 months ago. But In several places, the date is either listed for May 26th or June 2nd. It is still going to come out next year, without a doubt. The exact date, though, remains speculative, up in the air, speculative. There's a word for that. On June 2nd, for sure, is The Dawn Throne by Tara Sim. This is the third book in the Dark Gods series. Not sure how long this is going to be. The series itself follows the heirs of these noble houses that rule over the city of Dusk, which has a name. I can't remember. In this city, though, it was the portal city where it connected to all the realms of the gods until something happened and the portals were all shut down, leaving peoples from different realms trapped there on this planet as well. And the ruling families of this city are the descendants of these gods. So half mortal descendants, and they all have abilities where it's similar to their god's abilities, like one to control light, one to control darkness, one to control the elements, one's a necromancer. The gods have been gone for a long time. The world is kind of falling apart, and the heirs are going through problems as it is, and they're trying to find a way to open the portals to help save their world from dying. And in the following books, they're going through the repercussions of what happened at the end of the first book. There is a travel to another world in the second book. Sounds like there's going to be travel to another world in this book as well. Okay. Lastly, on June 9th is going to be A Trade of Blood by Robert Jackson Bennett, the third book in the Shadow of the Leviathan series. That is, of course, an Anna and Din mystery. It says, in the canton of Spetterid, two of the Empire's most powerful families are moments away from going to war with each other. Their hundreds of retainers gathered with swords drawn. If blood is spilled, the whole of the Empire may be plunged into starvation and chaos. So we're getting to go to another place in this one as well. That's fun. Each of these books has followed a different mystery for our super detective Anna Dobrov to solve, along with her trusty assistant Dinios Cole. And they have taken place at different locations within the empire that they live in. It's a very cool world building system that has more science-y to the fantasy element, and then the mystery and fungus science things with altered beings, peoples. Very interesting. Very interesting. I cannot wait to continue this series as well. That's it for my 12-ish books that are coming out in the first half of the year that I am very excited for and hopefully will be able to pick up relatively quickly to their release dates. Which books are you most looking forward to next year, or are you catching up on some backlist books? I hope you're having an excellent day, finding something great to read. You will come back for more of our monthly new releases, and I'll see you in the next one.